In Scotland, we have some wild and remote places, such as Fhidhleir, Munro and Knoydart. But in my opinion, some of the most remote mountains are located in the Cairngorm National Park. So join me in today's adventure as I do a 30-mile bike and hike out to these two remote Munros. Well, good morning guys, and welcome to another Munro adventure today. So I'm attempting to do a couple of remote Cairngorm Munros today. As you can see, it's first thing in the morning, a beautiful sunrise. I think the majority of today is going to be on the bike. Now I'm quite wary of this route today, as I think there's a couple of river crossings and the rivers are just on the edge of being on spate, so I think I'm just going to take it as it comes. Hopefully I can get across some. I've packed an essential item that might just help me get across these rivers. So anyway, I'm going to make some progress towards the start of these two Munros. The route today begins by crossing White Bridge. Luckily there is a bridge to get across this huge river. And then basically the route follows the river for a couple of kilometres. Okay, so I'm making pretty good progress now. I've just passed this bothy. I think it's known as the Red Lodge. You can maybe just see it there, shining right into the sun, so you might not be able to see much, but it was refurbished in 2022 and I think it's owned by the MBA, the Mountains Bothy Association, something along that lines. But I think I'm about halfway through my cycle, haven't had that river crossing yet. So I'm just heading up this way. I think it's following up the river Geldie towards the Geldie ruin. So a long old cycle this, not too difficult as it's been pretty level most of the way. You might be able to see that red house a bit better now the sun's kind of died down, but yeah, I'll give you a shout once I'm at that river crossing. I've reached this river crossing now. The river's slightly in spate, so I think I'm going to have to use my secret weapon to get across here. As you can see, I've left my bike there. I could probably get across this with just my walking poles and boots on if I didn't have the bike, but with that bike pushing it across, it's a bit more risky. So yeah, I'm going to get prepared for this river crossing. Okay, there's my secret weapon, some Crocs. Now it's time to attempt this river crossing. Oh, that is cold, mega cold. Woo. But I've made it. Oh, I definitely needed the Crocs for that. Oh my god, that was unbelievably cold, but a great success. You might be able to hear, but there's actually a lot of wind today as well. I probably haven't chosen the best day to do these two remote Munros, but anyway, I'm going to get the boots on and take the bike up to the Geldie ruin. Shouldn't be too long till I'm there. Well, it looks like I'm back to square one. I was right, there's another river crossing. This one actually looks worse, so I don't think there's any point taking my bike up to the lodge itself, so I'm going to ditch the bike here, get across these rivers, and then start heading up these Munros, which I think the first one is up in the distance over there. So after a quick look at the map, I decided to change my mind and I did take the bike across the river. So I'm at Geldie Lodge now. I'm just getting a bit of shelter from that wind. I've managed to take the bike to here. I think there's a bit of a path for another kilometre or so, so I think I'll push the bike up. I think future James will be thanking me for that later once I get back down. But that's Geldie Lodge just below me there. I'll give you a bit of a closer look at it. Not much left of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's turned out to be a stunning morning. That took a bit longer than expected. Nearly 3 hours. The chain came off my bike. I've got oily hands and I was just fighting that wind the whole way. And never mind that 2 river crossings. So yeah, I'm going to push the bike up and then make the rest of the way on foot. So after about a kilometre on the bike, I ditched it and set off on foot towards this first Munro that you can just see in the distance here. Now, to my surprise, there was actually a bit of a path to the bottom, but then it was just pure heather bashing to the top. But from here, there were some great views deep into the Cairngorms. Oh, it's blowing a hoolie up here. But there is Munro 242, 40 to go. Oh, try and get out of that wind. Oh, that's wild. 14 miles to get to this point. So I'm going to take a well-deserved seat. But this is Carn or Carn An Fhidhleir, I think it's known as. Hill of the Fiddler. And it's 994 metres high. What a feeling of remoteness you get on this top. As I say, 14 miles to get to this point. I could be wrong, but I think this might be one of the remotest points in the Cairngorms, if not in Scotland. Oh, hard earned Munro, that is for sure. But I'll give you a quick look at the views around here. It's quite a rounded lamp, so there's not a whole lot to see. And I don't want to spend too much time in that wind either. So from here you can see right into the main bulk of the Cairngorms with Bray Riach, I think the flat top of Cairn Tool in the distance there. They feel like they're pretty close, but that's a good distance away. Across from me I can see that next Munro, which it looks a fair distance away, but I don't think that it'll take too long to get over there. It's actually a little bit higher than this, only 10 or 20 metres, not much in it. But there is a fair drop between the two. So anyway, I'm going to get a quick drink of water here. Don't think there's much point lingering. I'm going to head to that next one. Okay, just a quick update for you. I'm out of the wind, luckily, and hopefully the wind will be to my back from now on. But I'm just making my way to the second Munro, so I think the path's going to take me along here, down, and then all the way straight up to Munro number 2. Now, I'm not sure here, but I think that the path might be banked out with snow here, so I might just have to do a little bypass. I'll show you what I mean just now. Yeah, it looks like it goes over that snow. So I think I'll head down here and around and snake round it. But I'm glad to be out that wind. That was quite wicked at the top there. But yeah, I'll catch up with you once I'm closer to the second Munro. My legs were starting to feel it at this point, the lowest point between the two Munros. I think it drops to about 700 metres here, so I decided to take in some sugar, some Lucozade, get some water, and then head up that final ascent towards the second Munro, which in the end wasn't as bad as it looked. Munro 243. Whew. I'm going to hide behind the cairn here, I think. Oh, that wind is wicked again. I thought that would be the case on this exposed summit. But this is An Sgarsoch, and it's 1,006 metres high. I think it means hill of the rocky stone, something along that lines. But yeah, fantastic views again. Actually a bit closer to the main bulk of the Cairngorm, so I'll give you a quick look at the views here, and then I'm going to get a bite to eat. Right, so there's the views over to the main bulk of the Cairngorm. It's looking impressive from here. And I'll show you what I can see over to there. I think that is actually the Glenshee Hills in that direction. And I need to double check, but I have a feeling that that's actually the Benaglow range. And up above it is Carn and Ben Jerrig. So there in the windy direction, that's back to the first Munro. Right then, I think that view behind me is the highlight of today. I'm just going to battle that wind for a couple of minutes. But to the left hand side, you see the big bulk of Ben McDooey with Carn of Aim. You might just be able to see it. I Munro that I was on just over a month ago. The other side is the main group with Cairn Tual, Bray Riach, the Angels Peak, and I think you can maybe even see Scorgui just out the other side. But yeah, I really enjoyed this today. It's a tough day into this remote area, but the walking in the Cairngorms is always fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to pack up and get off this summit. It's just too windy. The descent from this Munro was straightforward, but it was slightly boggy in parts, but the views back to the two Munros were great from here. That's me back down at the path. It's going to take me to my bike. What a long haul over these two Munros, two remote Munros. That's 20 miles covered so far, so it's going to be creeping on 30 miles by the time I cycle out of here. I had a few disasters earlier today. My bike chain came off, and yeah, that held me up a good hour, so I actually thought about turning around at that point. It was just, my motivation was gone, and I just knew how much I had ahead of me, but I'm glad that I carried on. Fantastic walk over them two Munros. Great feeling the remoteness in this area that you don't really get anywhere else. Glencoe and Skye are fantastic areas, but you don't get that feeling you get in areas like this, or Fisherfield, or Monner. Fantastic, and fantastic walking conditions as well. I really enjoyed it. So anyway, I better give you my rating out of 10. Give it a solid 7. Not the most inspiring of views at the top, but still a fantastic day out. And that just leaves two more Munros in the Cairngorm. I think one of them's probably right there, is that Derry Cairngorm, and Ben Vian as well, that's the other one. So yeah, I'll be back here for one more big trip, I think. So anyway, that's it for today's video. I've just got to pick up my bike and then do that 2 river crossings again in the long cycle back to Linn of Dee. So thanks for watching today, and I'll catch you in the next adventure.